Warning: you may think you're protected, but your heart may not agree. Have you ever believed that simply taking statins every day is enough to protect your heart? You're not alone. Millions of Americans hold the same belief. And many of them are the very patients who end up in the emergency room shocked by a sudden heart attack, even though their latest blood test showed good cholesterol levels. Here's the first dangerous myth: statins equal immunity. The truth is, statins only lower part of the risk and are most effective for people with genetic cholesterol disorders. But for the vast majority of patients, statins mainly reduce large LDL particles, while small, dense LDL, the truly dangerous type that causes plaque buildup, keeps silently accumulating every day. Second myth: low LDL equals no more danger. Some people have total cholesterol as low as 90 and still suffer a heart attack. Why? Because low LDL doesn't mean you're safe if your triglycerides are still high, HDL is low, or your TG-HDL ratio is over 2.0. These are the real markers that show cardiovascular risk. And finally, the most common misunderstanding I see in nearly every patient: normal blood test equals no worries. Did you know that standard lipid panels don't distinguish between good and bad types of LDL? Have you ever heard your doctor mention the triglyceride to HDL ratio on your lab results? If the answer is never, you might be missing one of the earliest red flags for heart disease, even while taking statins. So the question is, what's really causing heart attacks in people who follow every medical instruction and still end up in crisis? Are you watching the right numbers that could save your life, or just being comforted by numbers that don't tell the whole story? Stay with me. In the next section, I'll explain exactly why statins sometimes fail, and the one thing you can start doing today to change that outcome.
Let me tell you about one of my former patients, Richard, 62 years old, living in suburban Florida. A gentle, meticulous man, and always on time. Every 6 months, he came in for his checkup with a neatly organized folder, carefully noting every lab result. The last time, he sat across from me, opened his folder, and smiled proudly. "Take a look, doctor. My total cholesterol is down to 96, and my LDL is just 65. I've been taking my statin every night. My wife never lets me forget it." He told me he had recently stopped eating red meat, avoided fried foods, and took a 20-minute walk around the neighborhood every morning. I nodded. But as I scrolled down his lab report, I paused. Triglycerides, 215, HDL, 34, TG-HDL ratio equals 6.3. I looked up at him and asked, "Have you been feeling tired after lunch lately?" Yeah, sometimes a bit of chest heaviness. I thought it was just from eating too fast." Then I said, "Do you know this number is telling me you're building up the worst type of LDL, the kind that statins don't control?" 2 weeks later, I got a call from the emergency room. Richard had a heart attack while mowing the lawn on a quiet Sunday afternoon. Thankfully, his wife was home, but he had shortness of breath, cold sweats, and an irregular heartbeat by the time help arrived. Richard's story is a living warning to all of us. Low cholesterol doesn't mean you're truly safe. Statins are not an invincible shield, and there are hidden threats in your blood that you'll never detect unless you know exactly where to look.
Critical insight. Heart disease remains the #1 cause of death in the United States. According to the American Heart Association, or AHA, nearly 700,000 Americans die from cardiovascular events every year. That's almost one person every minute. And here's the unsettling truth. Millions of those patients were already taking statins, the very drug that's supposed to protect them from heart attacks. Two major studies shook the medical world and raised serious questions about our assumptions. The Jupiter trial, 2008. This study followed over 17,800 healthy individuals with normal LDL levels but elevated C-reactive protein, or CRP. The results showed that statins lowered LDL to about 55 milligrams per deciliter, but a significant number still suffered cardiovascular events. The HOPE Trial 3, 2016. This study focused on patients with moderate risk, and it showed that even when statins improved lipid levels, the reduction in heart-related deaths was far less than expected. These findings forced doctors and researchers to confront a critical question. Is lowering cholesterol truly enough to prevent heart attacks? Or are we missing something deeper, more hidden, and far more dangerous circulating in the bloodstream? Here's where it gets even more alarming. Many people, especially women over 55, don't even know they're having a heart attack because the symptoms don't always look like the textbook version. It's not always chest pain. It can be unusual fatigue, mild nausea, discomfort in the jaw, neck, or back, or just a vague feeling that something's not right. So what do? They take a nap, go to bed early, and sometimes they never wake up. In the next section, I'll show you the real blood markers that matter and 5 simple actions you can take at home starting today to protect your heart, even if you're already taking statins.
If you've been taking statins faithfully every day, this section may be the missing piece that finally brings you peace of mind. Because as I've shared, statins are only one part of the puzzle, and they don't touch silent threats like small, dense LDL or elevated triglycerides. Step 1. Track your triglyceride HDL ratio. At every blood test, ask your doctor to tell you this number specifically. It's simple to calculate. Divide your triglyceride level by your HDL level. If the result is over 2.0, it's time to take action. This is one of the earliest predictors of a heart attack, especially for people already on statins. Step 2. Cut hidden sugars without extreme diets. You don't need to eliminate rice or fruit. Just reduce added sugars, soda, pastries, bottled juice, sweetened cereals. Goal is less than 25 grams of added sugar per day. This can lower triglycerides naturally, reducing dangerous LDL buildup. Step 3. Add omega-3s. EPA, DHA greater than 1,000 milligrams daily. Don't settle for generic fish oil. Choose supplements with clear EPA, DHA content, like wild salmon oil or IFOS certified brands. Benefits: reduces inflammation, lowers triglycerides, stabilizes plaque. Step 4. Change your cooking oils. Avoid trans fats. Don't reuse frying oil. Don't overheat olive oil or flaxseed oil. Once they exceed their smoke point, they turn into trans fats, which cause atherosclerosis. Use avocado oil or cold-pressed coconut oil for cooking, and extra virgin olive oil for raw dishes. Step 5. Just 15 minutes of heart-friendly movement. No need for gyms or running. Try slow walks, deep breathing, gentle tai chi, gardening, light biking. Goal is to improve circulation, regulate blood pressure, heart rate, and blood sugar. Let me ask you this. Have you ever done everything right, taken your medication, watched your diet, checked your labs, and still felt this quiet, lingering fear? Try these 5 small changes for 21 days, and you may feel your heart grow stronger, one beat at a time.
If you're still watching at this point, I know you might be carrying a quiet worry. Maybe it's because your parents take statins every day and still feel tired. Or maybe it's you, waking up after a recent episode of chest discomfort, wondering, will today be safe? I don't blame you. Sometimes the medical world makes us trust numbers so much that we forget the heart is also about feelings, memory, grief, even love. People with heart disease don't just need pills. They need to feel understood. I remember a patient named Margaret, 72 years old. She lived alone after losing her husband. Every day she took her statin and followed a strict low-fat diet. And yet, she had a heart attack while shopping for groceries. Not because of cholesterol, but because of loneliness, stress, and eating healthy in all the wrong ways. After she recovered, she said to me, "I don't care about living long. I want to live well, but I don't know how." A note to caregivers. You're not just driving your loved one to the doctor. You are their emotional anchor. You're the one who brings back hope. You're the person who reminds them, living after a heart attack isn't just about cholesterol or blood pressure. It's about laughter, a warm meal, a gentle hand to hold. So please, help them rebuild their life with less fear and more kindness. Whether it's a full-blown heart attack or just the first subtle signs, there's still time to turn things around if we start with love and understanding. And here's what I want you to remember. Statins aren't the enemy. They're just not enough on their own. What truly protects the heart is what you eat every day, what you think each morning, and who stands beside you each night. So please, don't live just to avoid a heart attack. Live in a way that lets your heart truly come alive.
You know what still haunts me as a heart doctor? Too many women come to the cardiology clinic too late. They show up after weeks of silent symptoms, fatigue, trouble sleeping, bloating, and no one ever guessed it was a heart attack in disguise. Why? Because for women over 60, the warning signs are often very different than in men. Because they're used to enduring discomfort. Because they don't want to bother their families. And because they believe that taking statins is enough. But it's not enough. And the numbers don't lie. Large-scale studies like Jupiter, Hope, and Ascot all confirm this. Thousands of people still die from heart attacks while faithfully taking statins. So please, if you're a mother, a sister, a grandmother, don't stay silent. If you care for someone elderly, help them check the real risks. Is their diet still hiding too much added sugar? Is their blood fat profile truly healthy or just normal on the surface? Are they lonely, stressed, afraid to speak up? Has anyone asked them what they've never said out loud? Here are 3 things you can do today. 1. Send this video to someone over 60, especially a woman. 2. Recheck their blood work, not just LDL, but triglycerides, HDL, and the TG-HDL ratio. 3. Make changes from the heart, not just from the prescription. Cut sugar, sleep well, take gentle walks, love yourself a little more. Because surviving a heart attack doesn't mean you're truly living. Don't just survive next to a statin bottle each morning. Live fully, live joyfully, live with your heart wide awake.